Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. We are with the character Damiel over at the Pleasure Barge, and this is scenario 2.1. This is Damiel's third time to the Pleasure Barge. Let me know what you think of this location. It's an interesting location, not really a lot of combat, but still pretty treacherous. So far it's pretty interesting. Okay, well, at this location, when you fail to acquire an ally, you are dealt 1d4 poison damage. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Daniel's hand size is 6. This looks good. Advancing the Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of Woodjet. And the first thing we do is explore and encounter the villain. Okay, so let's see, it's a human necromancer. It's a monster. Check to defeat. Combat Divine 15, then a Combat 16. Okay, so before you act, search the location deck for monsters. So this is at the Pleasure Barge, and there aren't any monsters. If you don't find any character at this location, summons and encounters the henchman Natron Zombie. So wow, so we're going to have to actually do 3 combat checks in order to defeat this and close out this location and the scenario. So we have the Natron Zombie we have to meet first. It's immune to mental and poison traits. The difficulty to defeat is increased by the scenario's adventure deck number. So that would be 2. So we have to do a combat 14 check. Let's see what we got. Well, we got some interesting options here. The first thing we're going to do, we can go ahead and display the Alchemist's Kit, because we want that, because that's going to allow us, also in our hand we have the Fire Lance. So we can actually do that. It says, while displayed, bury this card to draw 1d4 random cards that have the alchemical trait from your discard pile. Then you may shuffle any number of cards. So we could, well, maybe we're going to just hold on to this in case we have to take damage. So we'll hold on to the Alchemist Kit. I thought I'd be able to reuse and do a combo where I got the Fire Lance twice for this one fight, but I don't think that's actually going to be the case. So what we need to do first is we have to do a combat 14 check. It's an undead mummy veteran. So Damiel doesn't have any. Damiel has this ability where he says here, you may recharge a card that has the alchemical trait to add 1d4 and the acid or poison trait to a combat check at your location. So maybe he will have to do that. But for now, I think to start off, and we're going to really have to play this right. So right now, Damiel has 3 cards in his hand that have the alchemical trait. So if he just uses a chakram, which is combat check, reveal this card to use your dexterity or ranged skill. So if he does this to do his dexterity or ranged skill plus 1d8. So if he just uses the chakram, it's going to be a d10 and a d8 plus 2. And then if he recharges a card on each attempt, maybe that's what we're going to do. So for the first thing we're going to do is we will use Daniel's power to recharge a card, and we will go ahead and add the acid trait and a d4. So this is our first attempt here. We're rolling 3 dice, and we need to roll. We're adding 2 to this roll. We need to roll a 14. Okay, so we rolled 8, 9, 10, and 5 is 15, 16, 17. Okay, so we made the first check. The Natron Zombie is banished, but now we have to do 2 more combat checks. So what we're going to do for this combat check is we're going to once again use the chakram, and we're going to, the chakram is d10 range skill, d10 plus 1d8, and we're going to go ahead and recharge a potion of healing to give us another 1d4. Then the question is that going to be enough? Do you think so? Here we need to do a 15. I think what we're going to do is, this is a 48. Shucks, it's going to be kind of difficult. We're adding 2 to this roll. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to, shucks, I got a Blessing of Horus. Do I want to use a blessing on this check? I think what I'm going to do is, okay, what I'm going to do is I am going to use a Blessing of Horus. So I'm going to use a Blessing of Horus on this first check. I'm going to discard it so we can roll an additional d10. We're not taking any chances here. Okay, so rolling all these dice, adding 2 to the roll. So we rolled a 10 and a 6 and a 4 is 23, 24, 25. So we made that next check. So now what we're going to do is we are going to use the fire lance for the last check. So the last check, we're going to bury it, well, banish this card, but since we're an alchemist, we can discard it. We're going to discard that card to roll 4d8. And what else is cool is since Damiel still has the assembling my dice here, looking for another d8. I should have another d8 here. Looking for the d8. There it is. So using the fire lance, rolling 4d8, and the chakram has this cool effect that says there, on your combat check, if you played another weapon, discard this card to add 1d4. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to discard that card and roll 1d4. So we're rolling 4d8 and a d4, and we need to roll a 16. So I think the odds are pretty good that we will be able to do that. Let's go ahead and roll, see what we get. So we rolled 3, 4, 5, 6 is 11, and another 6 is 17, and a 4 is 21, and we could add, well, we didn't add any modifiers to that roll because we used the fire lance. So 12. So 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so we do succeed in defeating the villain. Alright, when we use all of our cards, 3 combat checks. Well, how about that? The villain is banished and the location is closed. Wow, very exciting. Well, so far, well, that is time to celebrate. Damiel closed that location. I mean, he had all the right cards, he had all the right combos. Seems like leveling up and giving him the power feat of the extra card in his hand, or his hand size to 6, really helped him out. So let's go ahead and see what the reward of the scenario. So the reward for that scenario was, let's go ahead and find it, was the hand of the honest man. So let's see, the reward for this, there we go. So that's the reward, hand of the honest man. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this reward. So hand of the honest man. So it says here, recharge this card to add a die to your charisma or diplomacy non-combat check. Well, Damiel could really use that, of course. It says, bury this card to banish a displayed card that has the curse trait. You may succeed at a wisdom or divine 8 check. So Damiel will never be able to use the wisdom or divine 8 check because his wisdom is only d6. So it's a great card. Right now, currently, Damiel doesn't have any ways to get rid of curses. So we might want to keep that card. Let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we are going to add this to Damiel's deck. We're not going to do a deck check per se. We're going to go straight to meeting a trader. So Damiel does want to trade, perhaps, the hand of the honest man to a trader. Let's go ahead, since we are in level, let's go ahead and zoom out here for a minute. Sorry for the glare there. So since we are on level 2 now, traders are only going to take items of level 1 or 2. So let's go ahead and see what items. Are there any items that Damiel can trade? So he has this, the helpful haversack. He has a smoke stick. Okay, so and he has this armor. So right now Damiel has 4 items that Falstine Deek is interested in. But let's go ahead and see what Falstine Deek is offering us. So let's go ahead and shuffle the giant stack of items. And now I'm going to roll randomly a d6 and a d30 to see where we're starting here. 24, wow. Let's just go, okay, so let's just start right here. So Falstine Deek, he's offering items that are of level 1 or 2. So levels 1 or 2. Wow. So right now, Damiel just hit the jackpot because he got, Falstine Deek is offering him 2, well, one of the best, all-time best items in the game, the embalming fluid. And this mumia is awesome now because it's an alchemical trait. Display this card next to the deck of a character at your location while displayed. Add 1d8 to his arcane, constitution, and fortitude skills. At the end of the turn, banish this card. That character buries 1d4-1 random cards from his or her discard pile. Banish this card to banish a displayed card that has the curse trait. So, and of course the embalming fluid, really want that, so useful. But since Damiel has no way of getting rid of curses, I think I'm actually going to choose something different this turn. He'll try to go back to a trader. He's going to try to get that embalming fluid for the rest of this level. But as it is, we're definitely going to say Falsing Deek. We want the Mumia, and we're going to give him the Smoke Stick and the Hand of the Honest Man. Excuse me. What we can do, instead, we can keep the Smoke Stick and maybe give him the Helpful Haversack. So we'll have more items with the alchemical trait. So as it is, we are going to be able to get the Mumia. I don't know exactly what I'm going to trade for it, but pretty exciting adventure. We're going to end it right there. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that scenario. It's always cool seeing how the characters level up, and so far, Damiel has been doing a phenomenal job leveling up and getting great loot items. Alright, well thanks for watching, and I will have another adventure up shortly.